Well, this is honestly the most important and awesome message I've ever had to give. And by awesome, I don't mean like good. Oh, isn't this awesome? I mean like holy, reverent. I mean like bow down before God and hide my face from Him type of awesome. I've never received a message that carried this kind of weightiness to it before. I honestly do not expect people to believe me, but that's not the issue. I have to let people know. And what they do with this information, that's entirely up to them. And what they decide about me is entirely up to them. But I have to be faithful to what God is saying. And there may be some people that really, really need to hear this message. So I know that our usual subscribers usually watch our videos in the first 24 hours. So I'm only going to leave this video up for a couple of days. This is not a message for everyone to see. Sorry, I just feel the weight of this message. And I'm going to ask God that just those who need to see this message actually watch it. So when I got this message, it was yesterday, and that was the 4th of May, about midday Australian Eastern Standard Time, and I was blown away. I mean, I was literally undone. I mean, just so undone, just so undone. I was bawling. I still feel the weight of it, and I just feel the awesomeness of it, the reverence of it. So God He started to talk to me the minute that I actually uploaded the last video. I mean, as soon as I put it up, I went to get a cup of tea and God told me something. And what He said was that the last lot of videos all had a purpose designed to them. I didn't know any of this at the time. I just put up what I believed God was saying. But they were actually all designed to get the religious off this channel. I knew that when I posted the video about the vaccine that I would lose subscribers, because I knew where many of them had come from, and I knew they didn't share that same spirit. Now, we did see a significant drop in the subscribers because of that video, and because I knew the impact it was going to have, that's why I turned the comments off on that video. I understood what the backlash was going to be. What I didn't know was that that's exactly what God wanted. Then the following videos were all about the cost that the 144,000 remnant would have to pay. Now, these videos were also apparently designed, and they were designed to separate the 144,000 from the rest. Now, I was blown away by the responses that we got on living from holiness, because I talked in that video about the cost, the high cost, and yet there was no promise from God attached to that cost. Yet so many said they were still prepared to stay on that journey and pay that cost. It was a surrender, and God heard you. I didn't even know this was going on. Honestly, I didn't know. So yesterday, on the 4th of May, which was the 4th of May, Danny and I were down the back of our property burning off some branches that we'd cut down. And God started to talk to me about this message. Okay, so it's probably best just to say it. And what he told me was, the door is shut. The door has shut. It shut yesterday on May the 4th. So what is this door that's shut? Well, God has chosen his 144,000, and the door is now shut. He's not adding any more to the number. He chose not based on giftedness, not based on preparedness, but on surrender. Because God can do far more through one whose life is surrendered than through one who is gifted but not surrendered. He chose on a willingness to pay the cost when people weren't even conscious of any kind of reward. Now, I know, and I mean I know when God speaks to me. I know that he has told me this. Of course, you don't have to accept that, and I'm not even sure I expect you to. But the truth of this will become evident soon enough in the lives of those that he has chosen. I'll go on to tell you why. And I'll explain the ways in which God confirmed this to me. So take it for whatever you want. Believe it, don't believe it, whatever you want. So when I was down the back with Danny at our fire, and God started to tell me, he started to talk to me, I came up to the house to spend some quiet time with him so that he could finish telling me what I needed to know. As I entered the house, I flipped my phone open to see the time, and it was 1:44 p.m. When I sat down to be with him, he was already telling me the door was shut. There's no more. The door was shut. And I knew that the date had to be significant. May the 4th had to be significant. So he had shut the door on May the 4th for a reason. And the answer dropped into my spirit straight away. But what I did first was I sat down and carefully marked it all out on a piece of paper, and I counted it up, and May the 5th, 2021 is exactly to the day 42 months till the next US election. Now, in the previous video, I had talked about this. I said that the Antichrist is coming back in the next US election, but I did not know whether it was 4 years or 8 years. Well, now I know for sure that he will be back in 2024. When I did that video, I really did not want to start prophesying again, especially about the US elections, and especially after all these prophets had gone down, they'd been exposed for this very, very thing, because that lumps me in with all those nutters. But you know what? I have to say what I know to be right, and soon we will know the answer to this or not. So where does that leave the 144,000? Well, I believe we have 42 months before the Antichrist comes back into power, and that 42 months is for us to call people out of Babylon. That is our job. Once the Antichrist is back in and no more people will come out, all those that are going to come out will have come out, then the 7 bowl judgments will be released. And it'll be too late to rescue anyone then. I assume that things won't kick off the minute that he's back in office, but only time will tell on that. Now, if you need to, I'm going to have to just leave this with you. as I said, take it for whatever it is for you. Don't believe it, believe it, seek God over it, do whatever it is you have to do about it. Just ignore it if you want. I have to put it there because there may be some who really need to hear this. So now if you need to understand the message that you are to have, I suggest you study Revelation chapter 14, the three angels' proclamation. So study the whole chapter and understand that it's the 144,000 who received the message on Mount Zion, and they are to deliver that message. That means they're in the presence of God when they receive the message. And that's done every time that we, have our quiet time and worship God and we go before the throne and He speaks to us. It's there. It's in that place that we are given the message. Now, it's just the same as like when John delivered the message to the 7 churches, right? And then understand that how the people receive the message given by the 144,000 divides them into 2 groups. That's what it tells us in Revelation 14. The 2 groups are either those who receive the message and are reaped by Jesus, and those who reject the message who will go into the fire to be burnt up. Now, this is exactly where Danny and I were when God gave us the message. We were down at the fire, throwing into it the branches that had been pruned. They were being thrown into the fire to be burnt up. Now, how if you receive this and you feel that's right for you and you go ahead and you believe that that's the message you are to do, is to call people out of Babylon, be careful how you do it, right? How you deliver that message is between you and God. I can't tell you that. God will open those doors for you, how and when He wants to, and the Holy Spirit will give you the words to say. Stay in a surrendered place. That's all I can say, is just stay in a surrendered place. I had absolutely no idea that this message was coming. I had none whatsoever. I did not know in any way, shape or form that this message was going to come to me yesterday. So I'm leaving this with you. If it resonates with you, then you need to speak to God about it. So there were some other confirmations, but I'm going to keep those to myself at this point in time. So I bless you on your journey, and remember, this is going to come down in a couple of days. Okay, bless you.